Hasbro changes Marvel Legends packaging and windowless design. I don't know what you're laughing about. This is serious business. Okay, I didn't have. I'll just read straight from the article.
Yeah.
I didn't have time to paste it, but here we go. For many collectors, finding action figures in the wild is one of the perks of collecting. Obviously, finding more than one figure in is obviously ideal, giving collectors the ability to pick which one is the best. We all know paint errors happen from crossed eyes, scratched suits, and plenty of other cosmetic issues. It used to be easy to spot these issues, but now things will get a little harder as Hasbro has started to implement the new Marvel Legends packaging. Hasbro just revealed some of the new Spider-Man figures from the fall and winter months of 2022, with all of them showcasing new no window packaging design. I did want to credit. This is from Bleeding Cold. This is Tyler Roberts. This is an op-ed, I think. All right. We already knew Hasbro would be implementing a plastic-free package for their products, and they have already started to implement it in current lines. The Fortnite Victory Royale series, Transformers Legacy, and Deluxe Star Wars, the Vintage Collection, have witnessed this change already. We've even started to see some of the Marvel Legends before this with their VHS style Hasbro Pulse exclusive X-Men the Animated Series line. These new packs will feature the same design as the previous ones, but now have no plastic window, but an image of the figure inside. I know many collectors will not care, but plenty I'm sure will complain about this change, and I'm sure it'll impact the third-party market. Collectors will now have to open each figure to see if everything is all right with each. Of course, this is a small price to pay for saving the Earth, but I do.
Fuck's sake. Come on. Look, what are we talking about here? You're selling freaking plastic toys. The toys themselves are plastic. And we're going to quibble about the freaking bubble around them? If you care that much about the environment, go out of business. Quit putting out plastic bullshit that nobody needs. Save the environment. Stop making fucking toys.
I'm going to continue the op-ed now.
Go ahead.
But I do hope we see a better design for the boxes. Transformers Legacy has some pretty sweet art, as well as Marvel Legend X-Men VHS boxes. If Hasbro wants to showcase the toys, then I would love to see some of these boxes show off work from excellent toy photographers like D Amazing. I'm fine with the change. It will allow a lot more figures to get opened. All of these new Spider-Man figures featuring the new packaging are all up for pre-order and can be found at these various sites. What do you think of Hasbro's new windowless Marvel Legends boxes? Okay, toy collector, what do you think?
So I have seen. I do have to front load this because I am not a Marvel Legends collector, although I do follow a lot of YouTube channels that do talk about them. I've seen the difference between the Marvel Legends with the windows and the ones without. And although I'm not 100% certain about this, I do think that. What's that? Hello, Troy. Troy's on a roll. happy joy. Yeah, exactly. What is? Yeah, no, he's right. I saw that earlier too. The type of plastic they're using is different. Yeah, well, you can stick with Diamond Select. The problem with Diamond Select is they're more costly. That is more of a boutique type toy. If you want to collect the playable toys, they're kind of pricing themselves out of the market too, it seems. But you're absolutely right. When I look at the difference between the bubbled figures and the new packaging, I'm not 100% certain about this. I won't know until I hear from some of the other channels that have gotten their hands on it and tried them. I do think their dimensions are the same. So in other words, if you're a in-package collector, you can put it in the clamshells that collectors buy and it'll still work. I think. or you can hang it on a peg and it's about the same size and everything. So that might be something. And I don't know how valuable that style of packaging is. But one thing I'm guessing that the article doesn't get into is Star Wars toys. Am I correct?
It mentioned them briefly. It said that there had already
Okay.
been a line that came out with this packaging.
So here's the thing with and we have seen that in the Star Wars market, obviously I know intimately. They've started doing something that I personally like. Okay, they started putting out army building sets. So for example, they recently had you buy a 4-pack with three different rebel troopers and Captain Antilles. Okay. Captain Antilles for a while had been very difficult to find because he'd been released separately years ago. So you could only get him on the secondary market. And if you bought the rebel the blockade runner hallway toy and you wanted to do that display, well, you know, all you had was the one trooper that came out with it, any old troopers that you had, and if you wanted to do any army building, this was a great option for you. You got and we're not, yeah, I'm sure that the bodies were the same, but they had different heads. That's some good value there, and it came in a very simple box. Okay, they did the same thing with sand troopers, another army builder. That kind of thing for army building, I think, is brilliant. Okay, but the concern now is the people collecting the vintage collection. The vintage collection is modern remakes of classic toys in the classic style. It's got the Kenner branding on the bottom. It's got the bubble on it. You know, it even uses the same artwork that was used back in the 70s and the 80s if it's a toy that was, you know, a remake of what happened back then. And there is a huge contingent of vintage collection collectors that will buy, for example, Bosk's Bounty, a YouTuber that I enjoy a great deal. He buys 2 of every figure, one to keep in plastic and display on the wall in package, and one to open to display loose. He said if they stop doing the vintage collection with the carded style, he will immediately cease half of his purchases from Hasbro, because he will not be buying the package, you know, one that he displays. He may only buy, you know, the figures to open them up and display them as loose. And there's a lot of collectors that are saying that too. The only reason they were buying vintage collection was they're completists. They like the style. They want those. You stop doing that, I'm done. I walk away. So we'll see. They're really shooting themselves in the foot. And if they're already talking about being on margins because of having lost the Russian market and so on and so forth, and they're raising their prices like this and pricing themselves out of the market, Hasbro's looking at some very lean years coming up. It's supply and demand. The demand is going to evaporate.
Marvel Select, as Trey mentions, auto dress is not perfect. They are pricier and less articulated than Marvel Legends, but they seem sturdy and good for display.
I'm sorry. I'll take your word for it. Again,
I
know
you,
of Marvel Select,
but you do more the Star Wars stuff.
I am definitely not as intimately aware of those, but I think your reasoning from what you just described is very sound. I think you're going to see that a lot. I'm seeing it a lot, even in the 9-inch figures when I talk about the Migos and stuff. And I've told you, I've got my problems with Migos. They're kind of cheap. They cut corners. The details aren't the best, but you get what you pay for. They're fairly inexpensive for the scale of figure you're getting. And people will compare them to the NECA figures, okay, that are the same scale, highly detailed, much more articulated, but the joints break and the plastic isn't that good and they deteriorate quickly. And a lot of people have been talking about that, saying, I'm paying a premium price and I'm not getting a premium product. Look, business 10 econ 101, supply and demand, right? If you are not supplying the product people want, they will stop buying. If you don't give them a quality product, they will stop buying. If you charge them more than they are willing to pay, they will stop buying. And
Can I?
again,
Oh, good.
the last point on this, I want to reiterate what I said before. You're selling plastic toys, and you're going to quibble over the plastic in the container. If you're that freaking certain that it's destroying the world, stop selling the toys altogether.
Can I have a question though. These are now not going to have the window for you to see the figure.
Yeah.
Do you think quality control is going to slip as a result of this? That stuff is going to get shoved in the box.
I had not thought about that. That is an excellent point, because the quality also already is a problem. Netter just got me a Princess Leia action figure. This is my fault. I did not look carefully at the picture in the eBay auction. Okay. But when I got it and I looked at it, she's got derpy eyes. It's not painted well. And if I had seen it on a peg at a store, I would not have bought it. And I would have gone through to see if they had another of that figure.